Hey, crypto media friends, welcome to another overtime show. We are late on Monday night. We're working hard, doing the side hustle here for the NFT metaverse land. For those of you who found out that the sandbox is a Windows only alpha, new information like this BitCountry hit me with new information this weekend. I just feel like it's been 10 years in crypto. This past weekend, this wild Thanksgiving turkey weekend brought to you by Wild Turkey, because that's how much I needed to drink with what was going on with getting into these great projects that we get so excited about, like the starting alpha, with Sandbox. It was just like I was so excited. I didn't get a pass, but I could at least get in there. Maybe even show you guys some things, and so I got in there and I did as I showed you guys before, working on the map, and then you do the little avatar, and but the actual client to run the actual game was a Windows only interface. So and that just sort of punched me in the mouth earlier today. Not that I had much time to run around in there, but it was good to see it up and running, and I'm sure it's going to be a great success. A lot of the sort of pre-alpha chat, people like Crypto Stash and a couple of other people have actually gotten access to it, and we're having really good things to say about the gameplay, and that's the exciting part. And so there was that, and then BitCountry there. We've been working for so hard and so long at BitCountry to get early access to land, and they were going to do the token drop or the token sale. I worked so hard to get whitelisted for round 1 and round 2, and I took you guys with me. And if you had followed through, you were there too. But new information was found out yesterday that it was limited to just a handful of countries, not including the U.S., not including all these countries. I'm like, this is such new information, and it was really frustrating for me, guys. So I almost feel like bad because I try to bring you guys along, but I know there's going to be further opportunities for us to get some land, so I'll keep you with me as we go through that. But it was just a little not cool to not be able to get in on the IDO, because we know how juicy that's going to be, given how hot the metaverse is right now. So also happening in the metaverse and Art Basel is happening, and who cares about Art Basel? It's this art show in Miami, and you'll see a lot of influencers heading down there, because Art Basel is a fantastic art show where all the top galleries go to show artists that they believe that they can sell. and I love going to art shows because you see some really fantastic work being introduced to the public, and some new works, new arts, new artists who you can kind of get excited about. But the thing is they're bringing together some really, really deep pockets. You talk about whales, like the people at art shows. It's like sort of another level there. And so, and they're collectors. And so, the idea that you could, onboard these people into NFT land is a big thing, because this is one of the first, sort of live events that, we hope that is going to be well attended. I know we got this other COVID outbreak happening, but I don't think it's going to dampen Art Basel at the moment, and so they're going full on to try and onboard a lot of people, because to a collector of fine art, I foresee a bit of a bump in what's going to happen with blue chip NFT projects, because they're going to hear about the space, want to get involved in the space, and things like Mutant Apes are just like a drop in the bucket to them. So I'd expect Mutant Apes to continue. They're not so meteoric. It was hugely meteoric a couple weeks ago, but I think there'll be a nice little bit bump to push them well into the 7s, and a couple of apes and what have you. But other collections, in the blue chip area, it's still kind of anybody's game. And it kind of comes down to aesthetic. And so one of those companies that gets that a lot is LUKSO, and LUKSO really hit the skids, and I wanted to share kind of what's going on with LUKSO and Rumor remark currently. And so LUKSO, they had an amazing talk at NFT NYC, and I think it's Fabian, right? Fabian, the sort of the holy inventor of, he just name these, but he's such an interesting person, because even these naming conventions of ERC20 and ERC725, these are naming conventions that he dictated. Like, he was just like, oh, we should call it this, and this is, these are the standards, so he's naming the standards. If this is any indication as to the level of mind and of genius, really, behind LUKSO, this is somebody coming from the Ethereum project who understands and is really just mentally invested in creating value within blockchain, creating value for artists. And I think this is such an important project. And we've done well on the show. If you've gotten in early, it did fall 50% recently, back to kind of its levels that I had mentioned. Let's take a look at it here, because they. And I had, it was kind of hard to track down and sort of reach out to people on the team. But it was like, way back here we recommended it. But it's, it had a really nice run up. And I think the expectation was it was going to deliver on Q4 in terms of releasing a layer 1 blockchain. Huge order, right? And I think that when you're looking at this activity right here, this is when they announced, and Fabian went and said, like, hey, I don't think we're going to make this date of doing Q4 release. That had, I think, I've never seen for a delay call a bigger effect on price. I think there was just such a huge letdown in sort of delivering on that time frame, because the market is so hot right now for L1s. And if it would have dropped, it would have really mooned like hell, because everyone's looking for the ways of bettering what's going on right now with Ethereum. And NFTs. I mean, it's hard right now to play feudals and to play nounders. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, I mean, you had to like gas fee. They're actually being very cool, and I think that sometimes the estimates of gas are actually a bit off with MetaMask, because they're always looking to estimate per a certain type of transaction. But if it's a low sort of processing. Whether that's an approvals or something that's not a full-on mint, you're going to get a bit of a lower price. But man, it was rough just to play these games, and it's tough to see for the growth of NFTs, for the growth of this space, how we can onboard people to do this with us, because this is it's like it's like not a joke. It's like a week's pay of just like gas fees alone, just to contribute, just to like not just buy and hodl, but like to now actively stake and to mint your companion characters, and to stake those. And thank you, Noundles, for allowing us to not stake and just have a hodl staking system, because I think that just earning from there it was nice to not have to physically stake. But again, that does take off the purpose of staking, which is to remove them from the possibility of being on the marketplace, and then lessen, as we talked about on the show, lessen the amount that you have available to purchase, and then the price goes up. So Noundles, I think because of this, didn't get that huge rise that feudals did, because they were saving the whole the gamers money by allowing us to hodl and earn rainbows just by holding in our wallet. And I think that they might pay for it in the short term in terms of like, oh, it's not mooning and it's not, but I think in terms of overall value, I'm really liking what I see when I look at Noundles as a project. I see like I think Feudals is really well thought out, and they've been thinking well. But I think Noodles is kind of like that next level of really looking at game theory and how it can all work to make it fun, but also they're just wading through the thick mud of Ethereum right now and the gas fees. So LUKSO, took a real hit, and but that's the thing, is like nothing else has changed other than Fabian's just trying to make it better. He delivered the Ethereum project. Like, it's just like this is like a somebody who understands delays. And he mentioned it. He's like, I don't want this to be like it was for Ethereum. Like, hey, 4 days. No. It's going to be like this in 4 days. It's going to be like this in 4 days. Because he knows how important the launch is going to be and how much focus is on, an L1 launch right now. And if it bombs right away, everyone's going to write it off. And so I think he understands the importance of it right now. And so this only galvanizes my interest in this project, including just sort of the refinements that I saw within the messaging and the marketing. And certainly his own message. I'd love to have him on the show soon, because he's a super genius in the space. But I can just tell, like, there's just so much going on in that dude's head that it's nice to see something that's a bit more streamlined, and that's universal public profiles. I think that's going to be a big part of this blockchain. The importance of which, again, is it's really theoretical, and a lot of it's in his head. But as it becomes alive and with, the fruition to life, I think it's going to have some significant importance in how we experience blockchain and digital certificates. Kind of that Vive sort of thing of like, oh, hey, it was made here, and I know it's people making a living wage and all these great things, and then also sort of this mix of cultural currencies. And so that's the play here, and sort of I've been dabbling in cultural and social coins, and I think that the friend token is an interesting one, and zero financial advice here, zero, because that thing kind of tanked on people. And then I kind of bought it on the dip, but it was sad to see, just so many people losing so much money, if they sold, on that project. But I still think that, there is room for, the social and commercial or cultural values. I'm like, is this a drone that's coming by? This is like the loudest thing, within coins. And so, certainly in this blockchain that really has fantastic, again, leadership within sort of how they're going to deliver value. And because these are very specific to this chain, they're going to be able to offer that to the luxury companies that they have great relationships with. So I have high hopes still for LUKSO. I think that this pricing, it's still the same project. Nothing has really changed, other than the timing. And I think that a lot of people knew that the timing, if this was going to land in Q4 and was going to do the things that it said it was going to do, this would still be on an upward trajectory, although the market has been a bit weird, right? So, I still like this project. And I might double down, actually, on sort of this dip here, because it's the same project. Nothing's changed in terms of what it wants to deliver. And I think that you have somebody who understands delivery better than most, and knows what has to be done in order for it to seem appropriate for the marketplace. And so and I think that it's so interesting to me, because like when I talk and I sort of correspond with these these geniuses, really, like just doing messaging with these guys is like really interesting. You get a sense that it's very similar to what's going on with RMRK. And RMRK is, something that we shared here on the channel quite early. It's funny, it was about here, and then I think Becker had done it the same day or something like that, and it just went there. So I'm just like, oh, I should do something here about this. This is very interesting. I was looking at sort of the Polkadot ecosystem NFT marketplace, and I'm like, oh, who's going to have a great marketplace? And then came across Remark, and Remark does have, if you go back to the episode, some more innovations beyond just the NFTs, smart NFTs. They actually have the marketplace as well. And so it's an interesting project, and it has held very well, through this insane market and downturn of Bitcoin and Ethereum and of the heavyweights, because I think people see so much. You look at that volume, people see so much possibility and potential within the smart NFT, which again is just simply much like LUKSO, again, really thinking about the experience of the end user and of people who and of people who are holding these things, and what kind of value and utility can be brought out of creating within the program, within the smart contracts, value for them, and so in ways that change that. And it's really geared towards artists, which I love. Which is why I love talking to these guys, and they're super, super smart and super open about how to make these tools better for artists. And so it's clear, I think, it shows within sort of the Lego build out, the Lego style NFT building of Remark, and how it's being affected or how it's being received in the marketplace. And to see LUKSO doing this just lets me know that there's something not quite being well communicated, and I think that's where LUKSO might have its problem currently. I think they're going to deliver a hell of a blockchain, but in terms of their marketing, I think they need to really examine how they're releasing that information, because with Fabian, he just kind of like tweeted and then price dropped, and so you would I think it's great for the authenticity of the project to be very clear cut, but the stakes are so high that you can tell, when that happens to the price like that, just based off of a tweet, you got some of that Elon Musk feel, right? Of just like, Tesla's, dropping 20% because, he's smoking a joint with Joe Rogan. So you have sort of these implications here, but again, that project is still as strong as it ever was. And so I just want to quickly catch up on some of that stuff. There's so much going on in the space. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I do this live so that you get, and if you're looking at this and you're looking at this like in 2 weeks, and LUKSO is already up 30%, 40%. I apologize. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Apparently, if you don't hit the bell notification, even if you subscribe, you don't get this live until at least a day later, I've been noticing. And so if you do that, I do this live so that you guys have this information at your disposal when it's right. And that's why I think, I'm presenting this stuff is, buy the dip. Again, I'm sorry if you're seeing this 6 months from now. And it's already, and they've released the chain, because they're going to release the chain in Q1, and I expect fantastic results there as well. All right, guys, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and also just comment down below what you want to see in terms of kind of a entertainment perspective on the metaverse and NFTs. It's such a vast, wide space, and you guys bring so much from your own research and from your own points of view all over the freaking world, unless you're in America trying to get BitCountry, apparently. Trying to get new BitCountry coins, because that was a disaster. Oh gosh, BitCountry. Please pull through BitCountry. We need you guys to succeed and grant us all your sweet, sweet lands. All right, guys. Talk soon.